Discovery, written by Laurie Polydorus, illustrated by David Cockcroft. An explorer laps. A Spanish fleet sails across the page in Michael's social study books. Gold, powder, glory. Miguel Frames Trevor exclaimed. Those explorers really had it all. Sailing to unknown lands, seeing new things. Adventure around every corner, boys. Lily exclaimed. Yeah, we love an adventure, said Trevor. Michael couldn't agree with the idea of exploring the world 500 years ago would have been exciting. That's what he realized after studying for some famous authors such as Sir Francis Drake, the Dragon, a fierce pioneer navigator and seaman. Drake was one of the first Englishmen to sail all the way from around the world, and was the best known for plundering the Spanish colonies in the New World in search of treasure. I wonder what it's like, Miguel asked. What do you mean? Trevor said. It must be totally awesome. What do you mean? It had to be scary, Lily added. Miguel imagined himself as a huge ship leading to an armada across the open sea. Cold cries would burst from his pocket while men surrounded him, acting upon every command. In his mind, Miguel was taller than ever. It made real life feel as boring as watching paint dry. Yeah, it must have been totally exciting, Miguel said dreamily as he stood up and walked to the window. But do you know that most of what they did was totally dishonest and cruel, right? A lot of innocent people were killed. Entire villages were destroyed, just so these explorers could go home wealthy. That was hundred years ago, Sharon said. It was still wrong, Lily said. Just imagine how greed and glory made this guy do crazy things. They probably wouldn't do the almost settlements districts in the name of discovery, replied Miguel. On the walk home, Miguel wondered what he might be willing to give up the name of adventure and discovery. Would it be hard or still? He thought no, but he wasn't sure what the risk he would take. How far would he go find the ultimate discovery? That evening, after doing his homework, Miguel wandered up to the old red ladder to his favorite place, the loft. Thought of gold searching explorer drifted through his mind. He reached out to open the great Gardo's chest, when something slipped and slammed to the ground. It was rusty, metal dagger with a jagged worn blade. Miguel wondered what the other secret the mysterious and enchanted chunk held. Miguel pulled from a black leather-bound book, titled Journey to the Center of the Earth, by Loomis Verde. Miguel's dad had read of him last year, when he had been sick at home with the numbs. I remember this dagger, he said. Well, it's just one like it. It belonged to an explorer of islands, Ernest Saknussemm, according to the book. Ernest was the first man to travel the center of Earth. Then Miguel also remembered his favorite character, Hans. He admired Hans, his favorite characters. Hans. He admired Hans' adventurous spirit and bravery. Miguel's heart pounded. He knew if he opened this book, he would be taking a journey, and there was no telling him what might be in store for him. Miguel opened the book and started to read. My uncle ventured beneath the gigantic ropes. I followed him, not without a certain oppression. Deep in the center of Earth, the main character, Harry, and his uncle, Professor John Hardwick, just discovered a mummy. The mummy looked to be between 30 and 100,000 years old. The bones of prehistoric saber-toothed lighter than other creatures lay all around it. Harry was apprehensive about finding living prehistoric people and mammals. He feared that he and the professor might be in danger. McGill read more, but there was jitter on the pages. I really thought was this sea with the intense and more. No, under I'm moving, and my gigantic and mighty owns about cheese, my own. The goat began to jumble and made little sense to Miguel as he tried to read on. He closed his eyes. A giant discovery. Michael felt upon opening eyes that the air was pressing that thick in his lung. He knew right from there he'd been the story, in the combination with the heavy breathing air, that he'd been transported to the center of the earth. Creeping plants twisted among huge palms and pine trees, mosses and giant foam blankets the ground. It was beautiful, except for the fact that everything that should have been green had faded, brown tipped, or even flowers that should have been all colors of the rainbow swirl. An ugly bird. A voice boomed up behind Michael. Of course, Harry. Now come along. Michael jumped and turned to see a tall, skinny man hurry past him. That must be the professor, thought Miguel. And I must be Harry, the main character from the book. Miguel rushed after the professor, finally catching him. As they reached a clearing where the entire herd of mastodons stood gazing under gigantic palm trees. Now this is excitement, thought Miguel, remembering his conversation with Javon and Lily. The mastodons appeared to Miguel as hairy, oversized elephants with enormous trunks and tusks. Entire trees had littered the ground. Branches cracked under the mastodon's heavy feet, and leaves rusted as this giant seemed to devour nearly everything in his sight. Miguel couldn't believe it. He was experiencing an entire prehistoric world right in the center of the earth. He wondered if the feeling was experiencing was the same feeling Drake had felt. "Let's get closer," said the professor. Michael hesitated, but the professor pulled him forward. "We aren't strong enough to battle those prehistoric beasts," Miguel gasped. He noticed the wild look in the professor's eyes. It seemed as the professor was in a trance. Professor von Henwick seemed to have lost all the reason in his excitement to see, and to be able to get close to the mastodons. The professor continued to inch forward. "Look, Harry, there's a human being." Miguel saw a giant man who looked twice as tall and broad as the professor. He was leaning against a mammoth tree. Miguel almost lost his breath. "Astounding, my boy, isn't it?" the professor said. "Can you believe it, Harry? A living prehistoric man." The professor then spoke slowly. "He seems to be watching the mastodons." Then the professor von Hardwick roared with excitement. "There is a mastodon here. How about that, Harry? We must move closer." Miguel's shoulders tensed. The giant human had been some of the features of a man, but his head was the size of a buffalo. His hair was long, like a buffalo, and matted. He held a huge tree branch like a staff. The professor carefully stepped closer. "Wait," Miguel whispered. The seriousness of what they had found had hit him. "You can't defend yourself against a giant." "A short chance it," Professor von Hedwig said, his eyes quietly scanning the creature as each whisper would. "This more incredible than I ever imagined, but it isn't working risking your life," Miguel said to the professor. "Discovery is worth much more," the professor said, delirious with the fever of discovery. and as I sit, the entire world will remember that I discovered this ancient man. As Professor Von Hartwig stepped forward, a branch broke under his foot. The giant started and looked up at them. Michael scrunched his eyes as if closing them would hide both spores from the giant's side. Captured. A loud grunt came from across the clearing as the giant pulled himself to his full height, pointing and stabbed in that direction. He looked as if he is warning us to stay away, said Miguel. Not to worry, the professor said, rounding his shoulders forward and lowering his gaze. I am no threat to him. Master Horden's storm and trumpet turned back. Michael shouted. Professor Von Harcourt waved him away as he moved towards the giant. The giant stepped forward too, flashing his staff in the air, and the professor crouched lower as if to hide. But the giant advanced quickly toward him. Watch out, Professor! Michael shouted. In an instant, the giant scooped out the professor and tossed it over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. The giant raised his staff and howled with victory. He pivoted back toward the massive hut and retreated into the wood. The greatest adventure yet, the professor yelled before disappearing into the trees. Professor Von Hartwig had been captured just like a fly in a spider web. Miguel thought of blood. There must be a way to save him. Miguel took running off with the giant, even though his body was trembling with fear. Here he was, stuck in another world, in the center of Earth and no way out. What would the giant do to the professor? Was he a prisoner or like a spider brace? The giant next door. There was no time to find out. Think, Michael, think. I know. Hans, Michael shouted. I still remember where Hans is at this point of the book. I did hide him and get help. Think, Miguel. Then Miguel heard his dad reading the story from the last year, and it was happening right then, and he knew Hans would be at the beach with the rat. Miguel ran past the clearing. Wait a minute. Jumping over rushing brooks, even the hollow eyes of Mummy sent down Miguel's scattered bones. No time to stop and think about being scared. He just has to put on and get help. A two-man band. The girls beat moved forward down the great hall of sparkled and crystalline rock runs down the slope. He across the white beach made of thousands of shells. The shells crunching and sliding. Wait a minute. A two-man band. Miguel's feet moved forward down the great wall of spiked and castle-like rock. One down the slope. He raced across the white beach made of thousands of shells. The shells crunching and sliding under his feet. I can hear the ocean, he said aloud, almost gliding with an empty turtle. Cell shies. Wait a minute. Of beanbag chair in his bedroom. Suddenly, a large water appeared before him, spreading out as far as he could see. Huge, gray. Well, louder than a fleet of jets in cages, interrupted a few hundred yards offshore in the distance. Miguel spotted a man walking around and walking like a battery rat. Hans barely looked up from his repair work. Miguel approached him Out of breath, Miguel said, "The professor is in trouble. He's been captured." Hans stared up the blanket. "He needs our help," continued Miguel. "Come on." Then Miguel remembered that Hans didn't speak English, so he motioned the man to follow him. Once in the wood, Miguel listened to the mastodons, but all he heard was silence. A long woman's throat. What if he was too late? Hans picked up on Miguel's anxieties and crashed silence through the fern, now keeping Miguel behind him. Though he didn't speak English, he seemed to understand what was happening from Miguel's body language. A loud trumpeting sound blasted through the air. Miguel and Hans froze. The mastodon. Miguel reasoned the professor has to be near. Hopefully he was still alive. Hans and Miguel followed the sound of the animal until it grew quiet. Then Miguel's ears picked up on something he had not heard before. Quiet tapping. He leaned slowly. It was Morse code. Dash, dash, caught. Dot, 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 dash. Miguel learned Morse code at summer camp. The professor was sending a message. He said. Miguel closed his eyes and decoded the text. Giant afraid loud noises. Help! Guilt shifted in Miguel's brain as the professor kept repeating the message. That's it! Miguel jumped up and flashed to school at what he had learned about Sir Francis Drake. Drake became an expert at topic Spanish colonies and steal anything of value that he could find. He did this by relying on check-out colonies. He would have his crew make a lot of noise to the colonists they were more members to his crew than they actually were. "We need to make a lot of noise so the giants think we are the enormous group of warriors," screamed Miguel, forgetting that Hans couldn't understand him. Then he motioned to Hans that they need to get back to the beach. Back at the beach, Miguel had Hans stack and carried 2 large turtle shells. Hans picked up a cold shell the size of a turkey and blew it to a reducing sound like a bass tuba. "Great idea," Miguel said. "Go be a 2-man band and roll until he's scared to death." Hans picked up some heavy sticks to use as a drumstick against the 2 large shells. But Miguel found the cold shells of his own and then strung together, aligned the smaller turtle shells with a vine. He tied a string of the turtle shells around his waist, and then he and Hans headed back to the vine to the greatest mastodons and hopefully the giant and the professor. It wasn't long before they found the giant stooping over a campfire nearby. The professor was stick to the ground with vines. Miguel went into the action, and Hank followed suit. Miguel flipped the turtle shells over, grabbed the sticks, and began to drum across the towers. Top of the shells, Hank lifted his corn shells and began blowing as loud as he could. Along the horn and drums, Miguel began to scream, "Rock, that rock! We will!" Popped into head, we will rock you." The giant immediately stood erect. His eyes stared about the forest. We will rock you." Bang, honk, honk. Bang, bang, honk, honk. The mastodon roared, so did the giant. "Keep it up, boy," shouted the professor. We will rock you." Upon Miguel's last verse, trees and bushes bent a cracking in the opposite direction as the mastodons took off, the giant running close behind them. You've done it! The professor cheered. He scared away the mighty beast. Miguel rushed over to the professor. "You're safe," he cried. "Thanks to you and Hans," the professor said. "Now untie my bonds, Harry, before the giant returns." Miguel glanced around his throat, finding a stone tool or weapon. When he remembered what he had in his pocket, he gently pulled out the dagger he had found on the great Galado's chest and cut the palm twin that held Professor down. A light bulb clicked on the inside. Michael said, "It's like a book knows what I need to make things right." Professor von Habit bear hugged Miguel. "You were right, Harry," Professor von Habit. "Nothing is worth risking our life. That's not even the most astonishing discovery. Let's go home." Home sounded wonderful. Miguel handed the dagger to the professor. "Here's something you can take home with you." "Is that what I think it is?" the professor gasped. "Could it be the famous dagger of Onskansen? His first explore to reach the center of the earth?" Hans looked at the dagger and all in the mention a fellow Icelander's name. As Miguel let go of the dagger, he closed his eyes. In a second, a cool breeze met him back at the loft. Safe sounds. Miguel breathed in the sign of relief. Now he had witnessed firsthand of how dangerous and overwhelming the power discovery could be. Explorers were brave and smart, but often blinded by the fierce glory of their discovery. Miguel was glad he saved the professor, but for now, Miguel was content to discover it each day of his own life, right here and right now, with, of course, a little help from the great Galileo books every now and then.
Good job. We need a little more. Awesome. Click on the item.